Hi, I'm Wendy, and today I'm going to talk about the 5 common triggers of stage fright. Now, I'm sure you've all heard about stage fright. Maybe you have even experienced it. I know I have, and I've been doing this for a long time. I've been on stages practically all my life. But that's not to say, even if you are quite experienced and you enjoy it, that's not to say that you won't experience occasionally a little bit of stage fright. But what are the common triggers? Well, today I'm going to tell you about 5 of them. I'm sure there are probably a lot more than that, but let's just concentrate on 5 for the moment. So I think the number one trigger is that fear of judgment, that fear that people are going to be judging, evaluating, and not judging in a good way, that they're going to be making negative judgments about you. You know, you could be having lots of questions going through your mind. Will my audience find me professional and worthy? You know, will they respect what I'm saying? Are they judging me on how I look, how I sound, what's coming across? Will they notice things that I notice? They probably won't notice things that you notice. You know, do I look sort of young and attractive enough to be doing this? All kinds of crazy questions come into your mind when you're up there presenting and on a stage. So again, will the performance be well received? Are people going to like it and appreciate it? Will they respect what I've got to say? Am I going to make a fool of myself? Am I going to make some terrible mistakes? Well, I'll tell you, I've made a few mistakes and probably made a bit of a fool of myself. But anyway, that's the way it goes, doesn't it? But it is a trigger, that fear of judgment. Now, another trigger very closely tied to that is that lack of confidence. And sort of a lack of confidence in your own abilities to deliver, to perform, to engage with your audience. So if you feel like, you know, you've got doubts about your competence, often referred to as imposter syndrome, or you feel quite unprepared or underprepared for your presentation or your performance, even though you might have actually gone over the top with your preparation, then you will experience that lack of confidence, that heightened anxiety will be a great trigger for stage fright. The third one is having negative past experiences. Now, you know, I'm sure nearly even every professional has had some really terrible things have happened to them. And I think, you know, one of my first performances was just a shocker. And I could have just stopped there, I suppose. Or I could have dwelled on it, but fortunately I didn't dwell too much on it. However, if you have had some negative past experiences, it can impact on your feelings of confidence about delivering the next time. You might think, is this going to happen again? The terrible mistakes I made the last time is going to be, you know, a repeat of that. So it could be, you know, forgetting your lines, making a huge mistake, a big error, not acknowledging certain people you should, stumbling during a speech, or receiving criticism even for what you've done in the past. They can all contribute and trigger that stage fright. The other trigger is high stakes pressure environments. Now, you might have no problem performing or presenting to a small group of friends and family. Could be quite the opposite, mind you. However, if the stakes are high, if you are having to present to people in authority, people of influence, depending on the context and the situation and where you are, that could be quite triggering for some people. It could be presenting in a job interview, which, you know, there are high stakes and that's a high pressure situation. It could be a significant public event with thousands of people, and that could be very difficult for some people. So the perceived importance of the performance or the presentation and the potential consequences of failing can intensify the anxiety around your stage fright and can make it very challenging. And the last trigger, actually experiencing physical symptoms and the fear of experiencing that, and that people will notice it. Again, tying into that lack of confidence and that fear of judgment of others. The fear of experiencing trembling or shaking or having a croaky voice or a shaky voice. or doing things that indicate that you are quite scared up there on the stage. So, of course, all of that can be a great source of stress and anxiety, and those just simply imagining you having signs of nervousness and having them noticed by other people, and they probably won't be noticed. 9 times out of 10, they're really not noticed by the audience. And having the audience negatively judge you, that can be a great trigger for stage fright. So I think the first thing before attacking how to overcome stage fright is to understand what your triggers are. They won't be the same for everybody, and even for yourself, they won't be the same in every situation at every time. There are lots of techniques that you can use, and I will talk about them in another video. So have a little think about it. Think about the things that I've talked about, and jot down what you think for you are the triggers for your stage fright.